Hola, howdy, guten tag, hi, hello, konnichiwa. I believe that's all the hellos that I know in different languages. I'm gonna kill, bring you a Black Ops gameplay commentary with the G11, I believe, on Jungle, depending on how long this commentary is. This is the commentary, this is the gameplay that I have picked out, but it may change. I just went through that pretty fast so that I can get right into the topic. I'm gonna be talking about mainly time, but a little bit of space as well. And I'm going to be talking about time and different things that you like what would happen if you could do this with time, if you could mold time in this way. But basically, my first question that I have is, what happens when you pause it? Time. What happens when you pause it? Like, if you're going, let's say you're walking at 5 miles an hour, and then you pause time, would you still just consistently move forward at 5 miles an hour? Would you, or would you not? Would you like everything? Would it pause? Like, would everything pause? But just everything that you do is at 5 miles an hour, or 5 miles faster than what you wanted to do it at. Like, let's say that you wanted to move your arm at 2 miles an hour across from you. Would it move at 7? Just because of the fact that in this moment, in this exact moment, at this reference point that you just paused it at, this is time. This is where you are in time. At this point, you were moving at 5 miles an hour. So would you be able to move at a different, speed? And with that thinking, going along with that, if you pause it and you're not moving at all, can you move at all if you have the ability to pause it? Can you think at all? If your only thought at that point was cheeseburger, is that the only, if you pause it, would you just be an infinite loop of just cheeseburger over and over? I know that's just kind of a stupid thought, but not the thought itself, but just cheeseburger. But it's the first thing that came to my mind. And so what would happen with time? In my own opinion, I think that would your mind be limited? I'm gonna skip over my opinion for a few seconds. Would your mind be limited? If you were only thinking about cheeseburger, would you be stuck on that, or would you be able to change your thoughts normally, or would they be delayed a little bit? Because when you're pausing time, what we consider time, that means that you were doing something in that point. Whether you believe it or not, you were sitting there. Are you going to be able to move around when you pause time? If you had the ability to fast forward time or just slow it down for just you, similar effects may occur just with the opposite, with opposite ends and different queries or whatever. And so that's just a few little time aspects, food for thought. And I'm gonna go ahead and move on to space now. So basically, my only query right now about space is, does it exist without anything in it? Does there have to be something within a defined area? Does something have to occupy this for it to be space? Because when you think about space, normally the first thing that comes to your mind is outer space. And that is basically literally just emptiness. That's just about all that is. There's no air. There's a few objects, but the amount of open space overwhelms all of these objects by a gigantic proportion. I bet you it's over 1,000,000 to 1, worth of emptiness versus where an object is. So could you argue? I think that you could make the argument, but isn't an accurate statement to make that there isn't anything there? If Earth wasn't here, would all of this still be space? And or is it the opposite end? Is it that with something there, it's not space? It's not, because when it's there, it is an object. It's not space itself, though the object does take up space. So I don't think that you could make that, because it kind of contradicts itself almost. In my opinion, I think that space, in art, I'm going to skip over my opinion again, but in art, space is defined as the area in, around, or between objects. So that basically means that space is everything. Space is nothing. Space is just whatever you make it to be at this point. So to be perfectly honest, I don't agree with that definition. I think that space is any time that there is a fluctuation and irregularity in the general emptiness, that is space. So in my opinion, only where objects are is space. Not empty space, just space. It's space that has been taken up, space that means something, space that is there, space that you can physically see. Because if you're just looking up into outer space and there were no stars, with a naked eye, what would you see? You would see nothing. You would see a bleak existence. You would just see nothing, like literally nothing there. I don't know how else to put that. You would see emptiness. You would see just nothing. So, in my opinion, what we humans see as space is anything with an object in it. Now, then you have the question, since I said sea, does air take up space? It obviously takes up it, but does it take up enough space for me to consider it to take up space? I think that it does, but either way, it's still kind of a tricky subject because I just said sea, and I agree with the sea, but I don't know if that's the only way to see it. Thank you for watching. See you guys later, hopefully.